Captain Hale sat in the command chair of the human research ship Aurora. Staring at the glowing screen in front of him, the radar showed something enormous approaching from the edge of human space. At first, the readings made no sense. Signals too strong, heat signatures too massive, shapes too large. Then the ship appeared. It was a dragon-shaped vessel, massive beyond anything the humans had ever seen. Its hull was dark and reflective, covered in scales of metal. Its wings stretched out from the sides like enormous solar sails, and from the distance it looked alive. The Dragon Emperor's flagship had arrived. "Sir," said Lieutenant Kira, her voice tense, "they're not responding to our hails." Hale frowned. "Try again. Keep it calm, Kira. Remember, they've never seen humans before. They may not even know how to interpret our signals." Kira nodded and sent another communication, this time with translations into multiple universal dialects. The Dragon Emperor's ship moved slowly, circling Aurora like a predator. Then it stopped. Silence filled the void between them. Finally, a voice echoed in the ship's comm system. Deep, rumbling, and almost musical, it carried a weight that shook the cabin. "Human vessel," it said. "You have entered the territory of the Dragon Empire. State your purpose or be destroyed." Hale's heart raced, but he forced a calm expression. "We come in peace. We are explorers and researchers. We seek to study the space near this sector and make first contact with new species." The voice laughed, a low, chilling sound. "Peace? Humans do not deserve peace. You trespass in lands you cannot claim. You will pay for your arrogance." Hale held his hands steady on the chair's armrests. "We did not know this space was claimed. If we have violated your territory, we apologize. We wish only to observe and learn." Another pause. The Emperor's voice returned. "Your words are weak. Your species survives because it is small, weak, and insignificant. Yet you come before me, asking for mercy?" Hale took a deep breath. He knew most humans would have panicked, begged, or tried to escape. But humans had something different, an ability to think creatively under pressure, and he had an idea. "Emperor," he said slowly, "we do not ask for your mercy. We ask for your leftovers." The comm system went silent. Kira blinked. "Did he just what?" she whispered. Hale ignored her. "We ask for the scraps, the unused energy, the materials you discard. We do not need your technology or your power, just what you do not want." The Emperor's laughter filled the calm. "My leftovers? You dare speak of my waste?" Hale did not flinch. "Yes, we are humans. We survive by using what others throw away. If you grant us this, we can turn it into something useful, and it will honor your power rather than diminish it." Another pause, long, heavy. Then a rumble shook the Aurora. The Dragon Emperor spoke again. Curious, bold, foolish but curious. "I will allow it. You may take scraps from my last conquest. Prove your claim." Hale's eyes widened slightly. He nodded to Kira. "Prepare for immediate retrieval. Minimal risk. We do this carefully." The Dragon Emperor's ship hovered closer. Large metallic containers, almost like crates, lowered from a massive hull. They floated slowly, rotating in zero gravity. Each was filled with strange metals, glowing crystals and energy packs, leftovers from conquered planets and defeated ships. Hale and his team worked carefully. They secured the materials and studied them quickly. The metals were heavier and stronger than any human alloy. The crystals pulsed with energy like captured stars. Even small amount of energy cells could power entire research stations for months. "This is incredible," whispered Kira, examining a glowing shard. "What could we do with this?" Hale smiled slightly. "Exactly what humans do best. We turn what is unwanted into what is needed. That is how we survive." Back on the Emperor's ship, Hale felt the weight of the dragon's gaze. He could sense curiosity now, hidden beneath anger. The Emperor was watching closely. Humans had never approached him like this. Not with fear, not with challenge, but with a calm and strange logic. For the first time, Hale felt the tiniest shift in power. Not of fear or force, but of attention. He realized that humans had something the Dragon Emperor did not understand: resourcefulness, persistence. the ability to make something valuable from what others saw as worthless. Hours passed. Hale's team experimented with the materials, creating small tools and energy modules. Simple at first, but functional. Every new device they produced caught the Emperor's attention. On the comm system, a low, approving hum vibrated through the hull. "You! Convert waste into power," the Emperor rumbled. "No species has ever done this. Your survival is impressive." Hale inclined his head. "We do not need to conquer. We need to survive. And we do that by being creative, by being careful, and by making the most of what is available." Another long silence, then a final rumble. "You may remain in this sector, human. Use my leftovers as you claim. I will watch, and I will judge. But know this, your boldness has earned my attention. One mistake, and your species will not survive the next encounter." Hale nodded, understanding the hidden threat beneath the words. He didn't fear the Emperor. He respected him. And he knew that respect, paired with careful ingenuity, could be stronger than fear. As the Dragon Emperor's ship slowly moved away, Hale turned to Kira and the crew. "This is only the beginning. Remember this. Humans survive not by strength alone, but by thinking differently. That is our real weapon." The crates floated quietly behind them, waiting to be studied. And Hale realized that the universe had just given humans a chance they would not waste. He looked out at the stars. The Dragon Emperor was merciless, but humans had already found a way to make his indifference work for them. And that was only the start. Captain Hale stood on the observation deck of the Aurora, watching the Dragon Emperor's massive flagship glide silently through space. The leftover crates they had received from the Emperor's recent conquest floated in the hold below. The materials were strange, some glowing softly, others humming with energy, but Hale knew humans could make something out of anything. Lieutenant Kira approached him, holding a small device the crew had made from the glowing crystals. "Sir, this is incredible. We made a tool that can harness energy from those crystals. It could power the ship for months." Hale smiled faintly. "That's the point, Kira. This is why we requested the leftovers. We don't need weapons or power, only what others discard. Humans are good at turning nothing into something." Kira's eyes widened. "I still can't believe we got permission. The Dragon Emperor, he's feared across the galaxy. No one dares speak to him like that." Hale nodded. "And yet we did, because humans think differently. We don't ask for his mercy. We ask for what he doesn't want. That's bold, but it's also clever." He looked out the window again. The Dragon Emperor's ship was huge, terrifying even in its calm silence. Its dark scales reflected the distant stars. It could destroy their ship in seconds if it wished, and yet it had given them a chance. That chance was a test, and Hale intended to pass it. Back in the hold, the crew was already experimenting with the materials. Small energy cells were converted into portable power packs. Metallic shards were shaped into lightweight tools stronger than anything humans had produced before. Crystals that had been discarded as waste became sensors and communication devices. Every innovation made the crew more confident, and Hale knew the Emperor was watching. He activated the comm system. "Emperor," he said calmly, "we are using the resources you have provided. The tools we make are simple, but they are useful. We respect your power, and we will show that even your discarded materials can create something valuable." The Emperor's voice rumbled back, deep and resonant. "Humans are strange, bold, foolish, and clever. You take what is worthless and make it useful. I did not expect this." Hale kept his tone steady. "That is what humans do. We survive by creating value, where others see none. You may see it as waste, but to us, it is opportunity." The silence that followed was long and tense. Hale could almost feel the Emperor thinking, measuring, deciding. Then the reply came. "Very well. Bring me the results of your work. Show me what you can do with what you discard." Hale turned to crew. "This is our chance to impress him. Keep innovating. Every tool, every device, every improvement matters. Show the Emperor that humans are more than he believes." The next few days were intense. The crew worked around the clock, transforming scraps of metal into practical devices. Crystals that had been ignored became energy amplifiers. Broken panels were turned into shield generators. Old circuitry was used to make communication relays. Hale demonstrated each invention to the Emperor through the comm system. The first time, the Emperor's deep hum filled the ship, vibrating through the floor. "Interesting," the voice said. "Your species has talent. You turn nothing into power." Encouraged, the crew continued. They built a small automated drone, using leftover parts. It could explore nearby asteroids, collecting materials without endangering humans. Hale showed it to the Emperor. The Emperor remained silent for a moment. Then a slow rumble echoed through the comm. "Impressive. Your species thinks differently. Perhaps there is merit in your methods." Hale smiled quietly. "We do not wish to compete, Emperor. We wish only to survive and to make the best of what is given to us." The Emperor's response came after a long pause. "Survival is weakness if it lacks strength. But you survive by using your mind. This is unusual. Perhaps humans have more value than I assumed." The crew exchanged excited looks. Hale knew that their bold request had done more than acquire resources. It had gained attention, respect, and curiosity from the most feared being in the galaxy. Kira approached Hale. "Sir, do you think he will trust us?" Hale shook his head slightly. "Trust is too strong a word for now. But respect, yes. He respects results, not words. And humans have a gift for results." He turned back to the observation window. The Emperor's ship drifted nearby, massive and dark, like a shadow in space. Yet now it felt less threatening. Not because it had less power, but because humans had shown ingenuity and boldness. "Prepare for the next step," Hale said to the crew. "We will ask for more. If he gives it, we will show him even greater results." The Emperor learns through evidence, not threats. And humans excel at creating evidence. The crew worked tirelessly. They built a small transport shuttle from discarded metals. They modified energy crystals into portable batteries. Every innovation was tested, documented, and reported to the Emperor. Slowly, the Emperor's responses changed. No longer did his voice carry the harsh warning of the first contact. There were notes of curiosity, of intrigue. "Humans, you are persistent," he said once. "You improve what is discarded. You are interesting." Hale knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had proven its value, not through force, but through creativity and cleverness. That bold request for leftovers had turned into an opportunity to show the Dragon Emperor that humans were not weak, not insignificant, and not to be underestimated. And Hale smiled to himself, realizing that in the universe of power and fear, humans had found a weapon the Emperor could not destroy: ingenuity. The Dragon Emperor sat in the command chamber of his massive flagship, staring at the holographic map of his empire. Planets and colonies glowed like stars against a black background. But the Emperor did not feel satisfaction. He felt tension. For centuries, his empire had expanded without question. Conquest had been easy. Planets fell, civilizations bent, and none dared oppose him. He had power, fear, and obedience. But now, something was different. Humans, at first, they had seemed weak, insignificant, and foolish. The Emperor had expected them to beg, to surrender, to show fear. Instead, they had asked for his leftovers. They had taken what he discarded and made it valuable. They had survived without force, without weapons, and without pleading. The Emperor paced slowly. His massive claws clicked against the metallic floor. "How can a species survive on scraps and survive well?" he muttered to himself. "And yet they do." He turned to his advisors, hovering nearby as holographic forms. "I sent scouts to study them. All of them were defeated by their own cleverness. My intelligence units report that humans can turn waste into tools, chaos into order. Why have I not seen this before?" One advisor, smaller and nervously writhing, spoke. "Your Majesty, humans are different. They adapt quickly. They improvise. Even when unarmed, they become dangerous because they cannot be predicted." The Emperor growled softly, deep and rumbling. "Dangerous, perhaps, but that is not their only threat. They are efficient. They can solve problems I did not expect. Their minds are sharp, and their curiosity is relentless." He stared at the communications log from the Aurora. Captain Hale had requested leftovers. At first, the Emperor had considered it a joke. Then he had watched his humans turn the materials into energy modules, drones, and tools. Each time, the humans exceeded his expectations. No other species could do this, the Emperor admitted aloud. To no one in particular. I have conquered empires. I have crushed resistance. Yet humans create where others destroy. A sudden vibration ran through the flagship. The Emperor raised his head, nostrils flaring. Prepare the analysis units, he ordered. I want every report on what humans have made with my scraps. I must understand their methods. Hours passed as the advisors compiled data. The Emperor leaned over the displays, studying the inventions carefully. Each tool, each device, each small drone was simple by his standards, but clever, practical, efficient, and terrifying in a way he had never considered. They do not fear me, the Emperor said. They do not plead for mercy. They only ask and they create. They survive by thinking. One of his advisors dared a question. Your Majesty, could this be a weakness in their species? Relying too much on improvisation. The Emperor's eyes glowed faintly. Perhaps, but the weakness is not visible. It is hidden. Their strength is hidden in simplicity, in what others overlook. They survive by turning what is worthless into what is vital. He paused. And yet can a species so small, so untested, truly survive in a galaxy? My scouts report they adapt faster than expected. They cooperate in ways other species cannot. They turn danger into opportunity, without hesitation. The Emperor's tail lashed against the floor. He had ruled through fear, power, and strategy. And now, for the first time, he wondered if fear alone was enough. Could creativity, adaptability, and ingenuity be stronger than power? He thought of Captain Hale. The human had requested leftovers boldly, calmly, and without fear. The Emperor had expected humiliation or surrender. Instead, Hale had demonstrated skill, patience, and foresight. That single act had forced the Emperor to reconsider everything he knew about humans. This species is unpredictable, the Emperor whispered, and unpredictability is dangerous. He studied the human inventions again. Drones that could move without engines, energy packs made from waste crystals, tools constructed from scraps of metal. They were simple, but powerful in the right hands. And the humans understood how to use them. The Emperor realized something else. His empire, vast as it was, had weaknesses. Many colonies lacked innovation. Many worlds were inefficient. Even his advisors had blind spots. And yet, humans could see opportunity in failure, in scraps, in imperfection. A thought struck him. If I can use their methods, if I can learn from them, my empire could become stronger. He paused. For the first time in centuries, the Dragon Emperor considered humility, not weakness, but learning, observing, understanding a species that was different from all others. Prepare a challenge, he said finally. Give them more discarded materials. Test their ability to create. If they succeed, I will observe. If they fail, then they will perish. The advisors looked uneasy. Your Majesty, this is unusual. No species has ever been tested like this. Unusual? The Emperor's eyes glowed brighter. Perhaps. But these humans, they're unusual, and unusual creatures require unusual attention. He leaned back, tail curling around the floor, eyes fixed on the stars. For centuries, he had ruled with power. Fear had kept empires in line. Destruction had ensured obedience. But humans had shown him something new. Resourcefulness, creativity, and the ability to turn even leftovers into survival. The Emperor knew one thing for certain. He could no longer dismiss them. And as much as it unsettled him, he had to admit they might teach him something he had never expected. And perhaps, for the first time, the Dragon Emperor understood that power alone did not guarantee control. Sometimes ingenuity, persistence, and cleverness could be stronger than fear. The human crew aboard the Aurora worked quietly in the hold, testing the latest devices made from the Dragon Emperor's leftovers. Small drones zipped around, energy cells hummed, and tools made of strange metals gleamed in the soft lights. Captain Hale watched their progress carefully. Suddenly, the comm system crackled. The Dragon Emperor's deep voice echoed through the ship. "Human vessel, a crisis approaches. My scouts detect an ancient machine species awakening from the outer rim. They move fast. They destroy everything in their path." Hale felt a chill run down his spine. "What kind of machines?" he asked. "Relics of a war older than your records." The Emperor rumbled. "They consume everything, leaving nothing alive. They are powerful, efficient, and relentless. My fleets alone cannot stop them. Neither can your species." Hale glanced at his crew. Kira's eyes were wide. "Captain, they're talking about full-scale destruction." Hale nodded. "Yes, but this is our chance to prove ourselves. Humans survive by solving problems others can't. And we can work with the Emperor, not against him." He activated the comm system. "Emperor, we will help. We have modified your discarded materials into functional tools. We can create drones, energy relays, and defenses quickly. Let's combine our efforts with your fleets." There was a long pause. Then the Emperor's voice returned, slower, cautious. "You dare to offer assistance?" Hale kept his tone steady. "We survive by thinking differently, Emperor. We can help." Another pause, then a slow rumble. "Very well. You will join my fleet. Your tools, your ingenuity, will be tested against the machines. Fail and your species dies. Succeed and you may survive." The human crew immediately began preparing. Drones were fitted with sensors and small shields. Energy packs were optimized to power larger defense systems. Tools were combined into multi-purpose modules. Hale assigned engineers to each task, coordinating with the Emperor's fleet through the comm system. Days later, the combined forces gathered near the outer rim. Thousands of ships, both dragon and human, moved carefully through the void. The machine species appeared suddenly massive, metallic, and fast. They moved like a swarm, consuming everything in their path. Their eyes glowed red, and energy pulses shot outward with deadly precision. Hale stood on the bridge of the Aurora, his hand on the controls. "We stick to the plan," he said calmly. "Deploy drones first. Use energy shields to slow them down. Let the Emperor's ships focus on offense." The Emperor's voice rumbled behind him. "Human, your strategies are unusual, but they are necessary." Hale nodded. "That's what humans do. We use creativity to survive." The first wave of drones zipped forward, small but fast. They carried sensors that mapped the machine's movements and energy pulses. They also carried EMP charges made from repurposed leftover materials. The EMPs were weak, but together they disrupted the machine's formation. The Emperor's ships followed, massive claws and weapons ready. They struck the machines directly, but it was clear they could not handle the swarm alone. The machines adapted quickly, shifting strategies, avoiding attacks, and consuming debris to repair themselves. Hale adjusted the drone's movements. "Focus on coordination, not attack," he instructed. "Let's confuse them, distract them, and create openings." The human drones worked flawlessly. They moved in patterns the machines could not predict. Energy pulses misfired against shields, causing the machines to overcompensate. The Emperor's ship struck in the gaps created by the humans, dealing more damage than ever before. Hours passed. The battle was exhausting. Metal groaned, energy crackled, and debris floated everywhere. Yet slowly, the combined fleet gained ground. Humans repaired damaged drones mid-battle, using leftover materials to build replacements. They turned simple scraps into critical tools in the fight. The Emperor observed, quietly impressed. "Humans, your persistence is remarkable. You do not yield. You adapt." Hale glanced at him through the comm. "We survive by solving problems. And this is the biggest problem we've faced yet." The final wave of machines advanced, larger and more powerful than the first. The Emperor's ships faltered under the assault. Hale made a decision. Deploy everything. Drones, shields, and the modified energy cells. Coordinate with their movement. Create a trap. The human drones split into groups, moving unpredictably. Machines followed, lured into narrow spaces between asteroids. Energy cells charged and detonated at precise moments, sending shock waves that disabled multiple machines at once. The Emperor's ship struck simultaneously, crushing the machines that remained. Finally, silence. The machine swarm was defeated. The remaining drones hovered, damaged but intact. The Emperor's flagship floated above the debris field, massive and imposing, yet his voice carried something new. "You humans have proven useful," he rumbled. "Your ingenuity, it is impressive." Hale felt relief wash over him. He knew the humans had survived, but more importantly, they had earned the Emperor's attention and respect. The Emperor continued, his voice slower, thoughtful. "Perhaps humans are not weak. Perhaps they are necessary." Hale replied simply, "We survive by creating solutions, Emperor. That is how humans thrive." For the first time, the Emperor hesitated before issuing orders. He allowed humans to take the lead in repairing drones and redistributing resources. The humans worked alongside dragon crews, their ingenuity turning scrap and leftovers into functional tools that reinforced the fleet. As the battle ended, Hale realized the significance. Humans alone could not have defeated the machines. Dragons alone could not have either, but together, their cooperation created a force neither species could match alone. Hale looked at his crew, exhausted but proud. "We did it," he whispered. "Not with weapons alone, but with thinking, adapting, and working together." The Emperor's voice returned one final time. "Human, you are bold. You create when others destroy. You survive where others fail. Perhaps you deserve a place in this galaxy." Hale smiled. "We just want to survive, Emperor, and help wherever we can." For the first time, humans and dragons had fought as equals, combining strength, strategy, and ingenuity. The crisis had forced cooperation, and the result was clear. Together, they were unstoppable. And Captain Hale realized that survival was not just about power. It was about creativity, courage, and unity. The battle was over. The debris of the ancient machines floated silently in space, scattered across the void like broken stars. The combined fleet of humans and dragons drifted, exhausted but victorious. Captain Hale stood on the bridge of the Aurora, watching the glow of the Dragon Emperor's flagship in the distance. Lieutenant Kira approached him, carrying a small device humming with energy. "Captain, we've recovered all our drones and the leftover materials. Every tool worked perfectly in the battle. Even the Emperor's engineers are impressed." Hale nodded. "That's what I like to hear. Humans survive by creating solutions. That's our strength." From the comm system, the Emperor's deep voice rumbled. "Human, Captain Hale, you and your species have exceeded my expectations. Your creativity, persistence, and courage have turned what I thought useless into power. You have proven yourselves." Hale straightened. "Thank you, Emperor. We only want to survive and help wherever we can." The Emperor's voice was quieter now, almost thoughtful. "I was wrong to underestimate you. Your species does not seek conquest. You adapt, you create, and you cooperate. Perhaps there is value in alliance." Hale's heart lifted. "An alliance?" "Yes," the Emperor rumbled. "I will grant humanity access to my leftover materials, not just what remains from battles, but all unused resources in my empire. Your ingenuity can serve both our peoples." Kira gasped. "Captain, that's incredible. Unlimited resources." Hale smiled faintly. "It's more than resources. It's trust, and it's respect." The Emperor's ship lowered slightly toward the human fleet, a gesture of acknowledgement. "Human, you have earned a place beside the Dragon Empire. Your people will be observed, trained, and allowed to create freely. You are no longer insignificant." The words settled across the fleet, like warm light. For centuries, humans have been small, overlooked, and underestimated. Now, the most feared being in the galaxy recognized them as equals, not by force, but by intelligence, creativity, and persistence. Hale activated the comm system again. "Crew, this is our moment. The Emperor has seen what humans can do. We've earned respect, not because of power, but because of thinking differently. Let's make sure we honor it." In the lower hold of the Aurora, engineers and scientists began planning new projects. They used the leftover materials to build energy networks, repair ships, and create drones that could explore distant planets. Every tool, every device, was a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. Meanwhile, On the Emperor's flagship, the dragons observed quietly. Their massive eyes followed the humans as they worked. Some had once seen humans as weak and foolish. Now, they saw cooperation, creativity, and courage. And they began to understand that humans were not the fragile species they had assumed. Hale looked out at the stars. "We've changed something today," he whispered to Kira. "Not just the Emperor's opinion. We've changed the way humans and dragons see each other. And that's more important than any tool or weapon." The Emperor's voice came through once more, calm and steady. "Human, you have shown that survival is not only about strength. It is about cleverness, persistence, and trust. The Dragon Empire will stand beside you. Together, we are stronger than any threat." Hale nodded. "We understand, Emperor, and we will honor this alliance." Weeks passed. Humans and dragons worked together to repair damaged colonies, establish trade and communication networks, and explore new systems. The Emperor personally observed many of the projects, sometimes offering advice, sometimes silently watching. But he never interfered. He allowed humans to innovate, to test, and to succeed. One day, Hale stood with Kira on the observation deck, looking at a human colony newly equipped with energy systems made from the Emperor's leftovers. The humans that were thriving, working side by side with dragon engineers. "We did it," Kira said softly. "We survived, and now we're part of something bigger." Hale smiled. "We didn't just survive, Kira. We showed that humans have value, that our creativity and determination are powerful. The Emperor respects that. And now, we can use it to help more people." In the vastness of space, the Dragon Emperor's flagship glided past. Hale felt a strange sense of pride. Once feared, the Emperor now acknowledged humanity as a partner, once merciless. He now understood the strength in human ingenuity. The Emperor's voice echoed gently in the comm system. "Captain Hale, humans are unusual, unpredictable, and clever. You have earned a place among the stars. Remember this lesson. Survival is not always about power. It is about seeing opportunity, taking it, and creating value where none exists." Hale nodded. "We will remember, Emperor, and we will continue to prove it every day." The human fleet moved forward, dwarfed by the Emperor's massive ships, but unafraid. They carried knowledge, creativity, and a spirit that no fear or threat could extinguish. They had transformed leftovers into power, weakness into opportunity, and risk into triumph. Hale looked at Kira and smiled. "This is only the beginning. Humans and dragons together. Nothing can stop us now." Kira nodded, her eyes shining. "We've earned more than survival, Captain. We've earned respect and a chance to change the galaxy." Hale placed his hand on the console. "Let's make sure we don't waste it." Outside, stars stretched endlessly across the void. The humans and dragons, once separate and distant, now moved together as allies. The Dragon Emperor had learned a lesson humans had known for centuries. Intelligence, courage, and creativity could achieve what power alone never could. And in that vast galaxy, a new alliance was born. A human and dragon alliance that would change the course of the stars forever.